Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Chakadash. Double honors to my apostles and elders at Great Millstone who rule and teach well, and peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom. Okay, so I want to get into a lesson starting off in Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter and the 4th verse. So Lord willing, this is an edifying lesson to the elect. So I'll go ahead and I'll get straight into it. This is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. That's right. We understand that Esau's soul, his spirit is not upright in him. Okay, we understand. Salakia. We understand that he was made to be the wicked, and he is the wicked. Pursuant to Malachi chapter 1 and verse 4. Okay, so I'll read this from the top again. All right. This is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. That's right. And we understand that the just are the Israelites. Okay, starting with the elect. I'll continue on. This is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 5. Yet also because he transgressed by wine, and we understand that the wine is going to his philosophies. Okay, continuing on. He is a proud man. Who's a proud man? Esau, Edom. Okay, these damn devils are extremely proud. They set these plans 10, 15, 20, 50 years out as if they're going to remain in power. They speak against the Lord. Okay, we understand that Esau is extremely proud. Okay, continuing on. Need to keep it at home. That's right. It says need to keep it at home. That's why you see that the U.S. is all throughout. Well, you see the U.S. has troops all throughout the Middle East. That's why you see that there's over 700 military bases throughout the earth. Okay, these damn devils, they can't stay at home, man. Okay, that's why you see there's been these recent deployments of thousands of troops that's been going over to the Middle East, man. Okay, they can't keep at home, man. Okay, continuing on. Who enlarged his desire as hell. That's right. It says who enlarged his desire as hell. Okay, just like there isn't a limit on how many bodies go back to the earth that goes back to the grave, there isn't a limit on how much Esau, Edom desires, man. Okay, continuing on. And is as death. That's right. It says and is as death. Okay, and we understand that everywhere Esau, Edom goes, death follows him. Okay, he is an extremely bloody man. The scripture goes into it in John chapter 10 and verse 10 about how the thief cometh not but to steal, kill, and destroy. Okay, and we have seen this throughout history from these Edomites, and they're still doing this until this day, man. Okay, continuing on. It cannot be satisfied. That's right. It says it cannot be satisfied. No matter how much they have, it's never enough, man. Okay, the scripture goes into it in Psalms, the 73rd chapter, the 7th verse, about how their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than the heart could wish. Okay, they have more than they could ever imagine having in life, and it still isn't enough for these damn greedy devils, man. Okay, continuing on. It cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. That's right, and we know that America, which is Babylon the Great, is known as a melting pot. Okay, you see that all these different nations are gathered here in America, which is Babylon the Great. Okay, and what's the plans of these elites of Esau, Edom? To make this CHIP, which is the MOTB, mandatory. Okay, we understand that you won't be able to buy or sell without taking this CHIP, which is the MOTB. But if you take it, you will be destroyed. Okay, and we're constantly warning our people, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, which are the Hebrew Israelites, to not take the CHIP, which is the MOTB. If you take it, you will be destroyed. Okay, so I'll go ahead and I'll get what else I had, okay, to show you what goes on when the wicked is in rulership, man. Okay, because right now you see that these Edomites are currently in power, man. Okay, so this is Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, and who are the righteous? The Israelites. Okay, continuing on. The people rejoice. That's right. It says when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. And we seen a great example of this when King Solomon was in rulership. Okay, we seen that it was 40 years of peace. The people were rejoicing. Why? Because at that time, the righteous was in authority. The righteous was in power at that time. So that's why the people were rejoicing, man. Okay, continuing on. But when the wicked beareth rule, and who's the wicked? We understand that the wicked is Esau, Edom, okay, pursuant to Malachi chapter 1 and verse 4. So what happens when the wicked beareth rule, when the wicked is in rulership? I'll continue on. The people mourn. That's right, it says the people mourn. And are not the people mourning right now? Yes, the people are mourning, man. Okay, that's why you see that the suicide rates is at an all-time high. Okay, that's why you see that drug usage is at an all-time high. That's why you see that depression is at an all-time high. Why? Because the wicked is currently bearing rule, man. You see how a lot of these people, you know, that's so-called successful in this society, okay, you see these millionaires, you see a lot of these streamers, you know, nowadays, you know, and you see that a lot of these people are on drugs, okay, a lot of these people are extremely depressed, okay, and the money can't resolve that, man. Okay, why? Because currently the wicked is in power, man. Okay, but we know that very soon things will be turned right side up. Very soon these damn Edomites will be removed from rulership, man. Okay, so I'll get what else I had. Let me get this in Malachi, the 4th chapter, and I'll start at the first verse. This is Malachi chapter 4 and verse 1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven. And what's the day that's coming that's going to burn as an oven? When America, which is Babylon the Great, is being destroyed. Okay, when those 200 million warheads hit America, which is Babylon the Great, as well as concentrated fire that's going to come from chariots when the Lord return, with the number amount of angels and the chariots with him. That's the day that's coming that's going to burn as an oven. Okay, so I'll read this from the top again. This is Malachi chapter 4 and verse 1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, and who's proud? Esau, Edom, okay, is extremely proud. 2/3 of our people are proud, and these other nations are proud as well, okay? But what's going to happen to the proud? I'll continue on. Yeah, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. That's right. So we understand that they're going to get destroyed, man. Okay, that's what's going to happen. Okay, continuing on. And the day that cometh shall burn them up. That's right. So we understand that they're going to get burnt up. Okay, continuing on. Said the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. That's right. So we know this place, America, which is Babylon the Great, will be completely destroyed during this next World War, World War III, the third woe. Okay, and it's not going to be an Edomite, you know, that's going to climb out of a bunker here in America, which is Babylon the Great. It's not going to be a descendant of you devils to climb out of a bunker here and build this place back up again after this place is destroyed. No, once America, which is Babylon the Great, is destroyed, that's it. That's it for this place, man. This place will never be built back up again. We understand that we'll never inhabit this place ever again. Okay, even though we understand that it's going to be other parts of the earth that's going to be hit with missiles as well, but we know that that main destruction will come right here to America, which is Babylon the Great. Okay, this wicked kingdom. Okay, so let me get what else I had. I'll get this in Isaiah the 13th chapter. I'll start 19 verse. This is Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 19. In Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency. And we know that America, which is Babylon the Great, took on the ancient philosophies of the Babylonians and the Canaanites. Okay, continuing on. Shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. And what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah? Fire and brimstone was rained down from heaven, and Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed. So what's going to happen to America, which is Babylon the Great, during these times? We know that it's going to be 200 million warheads that's going to hit America, which is Babylon the Great, as well as concentrated fire that's going to come from chariots when the Lord return. Okay, and this place will be laid completely desolate. This place will be laid completely destroyed. Okay, continuing on. This is Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 20. It shall never be inhabited. That's right. So we understand that once America, which is Babylon the Great, is destroyed, we'll never inhabit this place ever again. Okay, continuing on. Neither shall the Arabian, Salakia, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. That's right, because no people will be here, man. Okay, dwelling in America, which is Babylon the Great. Continuing on. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there. That's right, man. You see that a lot of these Arabs came over here to America, which is Babylon the Great, you know, started a lot of businesses over here, but we understand that they're not going to be over here in America, which is Babylon the Great, once this place is destroyed, man. Okay, continuing on. Neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. That's right. We know that it's a lot of cattle in the Bible Belt region, but we know that no people will be over here in America, which is Babylon the Great, after this place is destroyed during World War III, the third woe. Okay, but we know that the elect will be delivered when the Lord returns. They're going to be beamed up into the chariot, and they'll be able to see the great destruction of America, which is Babylon the Great, from the chariot. Okay, but before this place is destroyed, we know that the CHIP, which is the MOTB, has to be made mandatory, and it will be made mandatory. You won't be able to buy or sell without taking that CHIP. Okay, but if you take it, you will be destroyed. Okay, so with that said, Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson to the elect, and I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachak Wadash. Double honors to my apostles and elders at Great Millstone who rule and teach well, and peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom.